Okay, right, this one is question 17 on the foundation paper. It's also question 3 on the higher paper. And if you want any help with this stuff or to go over and practice any of the skills, it's skill 138 and 234 for this one and 237 for this one, again on corporate maths. Right, Hugh is paid a weekly wage. Every week he saves 1/5 of his wage, spends 70% of the money he has left after this on living expenses, and spends all that remains on his social life. Right? 1 week, Hugh saves £40. How much does he spend on his social life? Now, the problem with this is that nowhere in that little paragraph there does it actually tell you how much he gets paid, and that's the problem with this. We are not going to work out 70% of £40. We're told that he saves 1/5 of his wage, and we're told that he saves £40 this week. So that 1/5 must be the 40 quid. So if you think about that, let's draw a diagram that we'd recognise in terms of fifths. Again with the blocks 3, 4, 5. Asked to shade in 1/5 that, we'd shade that block in there. So it means that that 1/5 is what he saves, and you're told that he saves £40. So that must be £40 in there. So if that's £40, all the others are £40, so I end up timesing it by 5. And that means he's got paid £200 altogether. So if he saves 40 straight off, he's got 160 quid left. And we're told that he spends 70% of this on living expenses. So we need to work out what 70% of that is. Well, 10% would be 16. So 70% would be 16 times 7. Again, if you just sort of do that up here, 16, 7, 6 times 7 is 42. 4 there, 7 times 1 is 7. Add the 4 is 11. So that's £112. So we're going to take that away. So we're going to do 160. Take away this that he spent there. It means that he's got £48 left to spend on his social life. Okay. And there's a lot going on in that question. The maths isn't difficult. It's the 1/5 times 5 to get your total. The 70% thing, you all know how to do that, but it is reading that carefully. Okay. Right, and part B, what percentage of his weekly wage does he spend on his social life? So a couple of things to notice with that. What percent does he spend on his social life? So we know how much he said. We know how much he gets in total. It's £200 in it, and we know that this week he spends £48 of it on his social life. So we can write that straight away as a fraction. And remember, percent means out of 100. So if I want to turn this into a fraction over 100, well, I'd half that, wouldn't I? That would divide it by 2. So I need to divide the top by 2 to get 24. So that is 24%. 48 out of 200, that gives me 24%. Okay, so let's have a little look at mark scheme for this one. So for part A, we are getting a method mark for getting to 160, basically, or showing some kind of reasoning to get to 160. Notice that 40 times 5 is what we did there to get to there and take away 4. That's our method for doing it. The other way of doing it is to say, well, if he's, once you've got them 40s and the blocks there, if that's what he's spending on his, that's what he's saving, sorry, then that's what he's got left. So that's where the 40 times 4 has come from, either way, to get to 160. The next method mark is for figuring out 70% of 160. And notice it says there, follow through their 40. Or there that. What that means is, if you get that first part wrong, as long as you are figuring out 70% of it, then you get that method mark there. Okay, so let's say you forget to do that and you just use 200 for that part. If you use 200 and figured out 70% of 200, you wouldn't get that mark, but you would get this mark. Okay, and then the final accuracy mark, so taking that all the way to get 48. Okay, and for part B, 48 over 200 times 100, which is your method mark, okay? Provide, yeah, and then get your 24% of your accuracy mark. Notice again, you've got follow through marks there. Whatever they got, when it says they're 48, it means that if they've got this wrong, say if you ended up there with 60, you could put 60 there. As long as you're doing a fraction and then trying to shift that fraction to percentage, you would get that right as long as you've used the numbers that you got in part A in the correct way. Okay, so that's that one done.